In this Talisman Tactica, we're going to be jumping into the Highlands. So as always, we're going to talk tactics, but we're not going to talk specific monsters, objects, and followers. I want you as a player to discover them. That's part of the quest aspect of Talisman. Going in, discovering, figuring out how that overlays with your characters as you make your run for the Crown of Command. Now, the Highlands at its core is to navigate through and face the Eagle King. A final showdown with the Eagle King, and from there you get to draw from the Eagle King's treasure pile. Depending on the rules as written or house rules, some players will, in true Talisman fashion, randomly shuffle out the treasure hoard and you draw one card and you get to pick. Other players will let you look through. And I have seen some house rules where mix them up randomly, draw three, pick one. So we're embracing the randomness of the game, but at the same time, we're giving a little bit of player agency and player control. Now, in terms of end game reward treasures, what we see with the Highlands and the dungeon, the two complement each other in a similar structure. You're going in, one's above ground in the mountains, one's below ground in the dungeon. You go through, and at the end, you get a treasure reward. In the dungeon, you fight the Lord of Darkness. The treasure rewards are better in the dungeon. Without giving away any spoilers, they are significantly better. But the challenges, for the most part, are a lot more intense and deadlier in the dungeon. I wouldn't recommend early game, right? We break up Talisman, early game, mid game, late game, and then final aspect, run for the Crown of Command. Early game to mid game, I would not jump into the dungeon. I mean, you could. It's Talisman. Random happens. But that's the primary difference, where the rewards are greater at the end with the Lord of Darkness compared to the Eagle King, but the Highlands overall are not as dangerous. So I find the Highlands as a great entry point if you want to get off the main board and you want to start to explore. Now, naturally, there's going to be a mix of followers and magic objects, events, and encounters. There are a couple of really rough encounters. There are a couple of 8s and 10s in terms of craft and strength, but they're in that deck. Generally speaking, the encounters are a little bit more forgiving. Now, what's interesting is there's a number of objects in the Highlands. A slight spoiler, but instead of bags of gold, you get gemstones. And these gemstones can be brought to the alchemist and turned into gold. So if you're looking to level up steadily with some average to below average encounters, so 2s and 3s and 4s with craft and strength, which if you have a +1 or a +2 and you've got that D6, I won't say you have to burn a fate, but it's unless you roll really, really bad, it's possible that you will defeat the encounter and then you can slowly level up. It's a little more consistent in the Highland. There's a couple of objects, a couple of followers that are really neat. That's great. But the main thing beyond the Eagle King is to go and get these gems. Now, when you convert them to gold, suddenly you've got double-digit gold coins. I mean, it's one thing on the main board where you're running around and apparently there's bags of gold, 1 or 2 bags of gold under every single rock in the game. The Highlands gives out these gems. As it stands, to turn them into gold, it depends if the city is in play. The Highlands and the city are an excellent synergy because much of the city is shopping. 1/3 of the board in the city, or almost half the board, is places to shop. So it's surviving those encounters to go shop. If you have tons of gold really, really quick, that offers a lot of great ways to level up. But even if you're not playing with the city, or maybe there's a different tactica because there's too many players in there and you don't want to venture into there and get mugged, having that gold means now there's a chance to heal up, or certain events on the main board, like a market day or a trainer or buying spells. It's nice to have a little bit of gold in the game to see what happens, and the Highlands delivers that. So in terms of when to enter, jumping off the main board, in my opinion, right away, it's a great way to bounce around, level up, get some stuff. Tactically, the way I play it is mainly to get some quick boosts to strength and craft, pick up some followers, pick up a couple of +1 magic objects, magic items. And then at that point, maybe I'll go for the Eagle King if I have a good chance of winning without burning potions or without burning trinkets to modify or boost the dice. If I can do that, okay, I'll get one of those magic objects. There's a few that are interesting, whether I draw or it's random. But I won't say that the Eagle King is mandatory, unlike the dungeon. The dungeon has a couple of really nice treasures that even if you're random drawing, extremely powerful. If I'm entering the dungeon, the idea is I am going to the end.